morning, good morning, good morning, all the personalities, all the DNA codes say good morning. So we're going to reverse and talk about what is going on in space. Yeah, what's going on Earth is great. And we had a graduation ceremony last night for a lot of our children. But I want to point out some things that are making me angry. Um, but not me, my body, but like me. You know, over 1 million children, and this is just what I've read, but what I'm hearing is there's a lot more. Children have been vaccinated, um, thus accessing the Kundalini, thus trying to climb up to communicate and take over. And what do you say? About what? Um, trying to, let's just say, trying to reach the White House. um, but we also have to take a step back and look at it from this perspective. Um, I have really been trying to back away from punishing because that's not my thing. Like, I understand punishing is very, very crucial. And children, because I think everyone's my children, even the monsters, right? People you call the monsters, even the evil ones. When they got here, they had to come through something. They had to come through a portal, period. Everyone had to come through a portal. Even these cloned agents, they came from an external portal, still a portal. So we have to like step back and talk about what's going on up there on the higher self. So yesterday, the higher self, me, dropped in to my new house. And you guys may have seen a little bit of a show because, I like to come down on a chariot. And I'm starting to see things a little bit more clear. Number one, I'm having, trouble figuring out how to eat here still. That was a mission of mine and I'm working on it. And I've commissioned one of my friends to help me. But that's going to take a long time. Number two, I asked to see a vision of the future last night before I went to bed. And come on, guys. I saw a picture of the past and future as well. But it's like a unilateral, like circular blah. So we've got some good things coming. And then the yeah. You can just be more direct. Right now, it's very crucial that we become direct. This is the lower self. If we're more grounded in knowledge in communication of what is being passed through the third eye, then we can get information out more quickly. So if we refrain from making it about ourselves too much and more about the public domain and things like that, we can actually streamline and make it less than an hour and more of like, a cool 30 minutes. So, okay, well, then I will read what is presented. Mm. Children who have the vaccine, I just wanted you to know that when you have the vaccine and you activate a certain DNA sequence, I want to let you know that it blinds you, because I have now started to tap into the genetic sequence of the gods and start to push out new updates for your DNA. Eve is a evolutionary vehicle engineer. So I am the engineer. You guys are vehicles. Therefore, I'm going to start upgrading. Let's make it more of a Lambo, maybe a Range Rover. Like, let's get some like more energy, more power behind our vehicles. Like, start going in the sunlight and sitting, talking to the sun, because last night I talked to the moon. I sung to the moon. I remembered things that I forgot, because the moon is all about hidden knowledge. So when you saw the moon tarot card and you were like, hidden knowledge, something's coming up in your thing, the best thing that you should have done is gone to the moon and talked to her. Like, she's a real entity, like, she's a real person. She is my mother. She is me. She is she. You know what I'm saying? So I was talking to her last night and I was singing and I was like, nothing fucks with my baby. Nothing can get in the way. And then I was singing, yeah, yo, yeah, yo. That's Erica Badu. Have you seen her daughter Puma? She's so cute. She's like so cute. I was like, you look just like a Puma. Anyway, so then I was talking to her and she downloaded a bunch of information because she said you needed to have your higher self tagged in with your lower self in order for this information to come to pass. And so I said, what? And then I remembered back to the beginning of time, how I was I'm going to just tell a story. Believe it, don't believe it. It's a story. Okay? Once upon the beginning of time, there was a beautiful woman, a beautiful, dark woman, who had the capacity to love a lot. She lived in a beautiful garden full of fruits and nuts and bees and apples and cherries, everything that she could ever want. And she was lonely. Her husband was a very beloved energy who encompassed space and time, and he was busy most of the time. So this young maiden got on her knees and prayed to her soul's mate and said, I wish that you were here, that I could hold you and talk to you and touch you. And one day for Christmas, the christening of the mother, he said, make a man in my image. I will give you the specifications and You just make them, right? So she grabbed the clay and maneuvered and made him perfect. He was beautiful. So then she calls and says, "Hey, your vehicle is done. Will you breathe life into it?" And from the sky, a light came down and gave form to that being. So, the first thing that she did when he awoke was she gave him the biggest hug and the biggest kiss known to man. And that started his heart. So, the if we go back a little bit, she was only able to create females in the beginning of time because it was easy for her to give life to the feminine because it was just the duplication of her own programming. Simple, right? So while she sat in the tippy top of her garden, she sent her daughters to build the earth, to make homes and life and love and hearth and make it beautiful. For when she came to visit, she would see her children and her granddaughters and all that stuff. And they would live happily ever after on this feminine planet. Then, when father came to visit, they were in the process of making love in their garden, and she died. And she asked the father, why did she die? He had to leave his physical form and go and get her and revive her back to life. It was then she split off the dark side of her personality and only kept the light so that they continued to make love. And the dark went off into the netherworlds. One day, while in the garden, she felt a ache in her stomach. An ache that she didn't understand because the feminine was easy to breathe. It was just a duplication on her code. But she forgot that the dark side of her was the one who bared the most pain. So when she laid down to give birth and her ribs broke and her stomach shook and she felt death, the dark side came back to help her with the pain, but they couldn't get in the door. So a lot of that dark energy went into the child. She birthed the first son ever, a child of God. He was beautiful, a spitting image of her creation. She bore many sons, not just two, many. So one day, as the boys were getting older, she sat with her husband in the garden and told them, "You are not allowed to leave the garden until you are a certain age. Sexuality is sacred. And since you are new to the mind, it's going to take time for you to open the treasure box and appreciate it." The boys got very curious as to why they weren't allowed to leave the garden. So they went out and they saw the most beautiful women naked. And their eyes got big because their manhood began to tremble and they didn't understand why. They got the eye. And they got back into the garden and then they lusted after their own mother because she was also naked. They didn't understand the sacredness of the woman being naked. Because when you have to take a life, sometimes, hold on, let's not do that yet. So then the boys would not stop wanting and yearning and thinking until one day the mother just said, "Forget it. Father, take them across the earth, check back in, and tell me, where we're going to live if we're not going to live here." And days went by, weeks, months, years, and the beautiful woman didn't hear anything from her sons or her creator. And she decided to look into the glass. And she looked in the glass and she saw that they had taken many wives. They had bore children. They had completely forgot about her and they lived their lives. She watched them laugh and joke and, start over without her. So she turned off the honey because she was the queen bee. She packed her bags and she went to the ocean, where she met up with some amazing creatures who accepted her with open arms and treated her like a queen. She produced fishes and turn them into stars. And she was happy. Millions of years passed before they even remembered. They even remembered her. The story also goes that when they first left, her sons fought over one woman who was created right after one of the first daughters to be created. They fought over. The father, the sons, all fought over her. The sons went to war over her beauty. And Cain killed Abel. And from this blood, the mother felt so much pain that her bones cracked, that her form was distorted because of the pain, and they took her dark side, so she felt more pain than anyone, as her children now knew death. Honey corrected that. Honey and love of the mother encompassed them in a golden light that shined so bright that death could not see to take their soul. But she took that light away. So many years later, as the patriarch rose and her daughters went into slavery, she received a call from the father. Forgive me, mother, for I have sinned. I have populated the earth and forgot of my duties. I forgot of my duties. The mother had started to grow old, which was never really a thing, because she reversed time most of the time to the beginning, and she didn't want to. Her body remained old and fragile, and she cried. She cried so much, she drowned the world a couple times. Till one day she heard songs, beautiful, beautiful melodies. Created. Kai, 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 yambe ya holoto. Kai, 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 asisusu. Kai, 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 yambe ya holoto. They sung to her and brought her gifts. Wanting to wake up to see. It was very hard. Wanting to wake up to see was very hard. And it got to the point where her body began to break. And she began to slowly die. She wanted to blow into oblivion and have no one to put her back together. But then she remembered her daughters. She remembered her sons and the feeling of love that she got from the core, how warm it was. She would go and sit in their concerts and listen in the background, the melodies that they created from the fire they had within. And she started to slowly reverse time. Under their noses, they thought, hey, it's so bad. But she's like, look at the sun. I've already come. I've been here. I'm back. And her children didn't respond. So she screamed and banged, I'm back, I'm back. They didn't remember. It's as if the memory was stolen. So she gave up her voice and grew legs, jumped into a original being of her and recreated life almost to the same specifications too. Dang near the same. And she waited for her children to come out of hiding, even though their souls all stood around her everywhere she went. Everywhere I go. So I tell that story to just remember how much truth is in certain stories. You know, I was I was driven into this dream realm where the aurora borealis was these videos playing in the sky. They played in craters and vast valleys. You could see the mother talking in the sky. And although dream, I pray that my children can see my soul because the blinders are on and now they're coming off. And I don't want to be forgotten again. I don't want to sit and watch the world go by. Like I want to be in, you know, I want to be in love. I want to be in the rooms where they create the music. I want to be in. This is why I sent my soul so many times the fiery part because I want them to see that fire was always in the corner watching. I want their eyes to be so wide that they're like, oh, do you see that over there in the corner? That they give awards because my face showed up. And And I miss my son and my daughter and just the way it was. So that's a story. I watched this video today of one of my children, and he had the most beautiful woman next to him, and I said, she reminds me of a dolphin that I used to talk to back in the day. Like, how did the dolphin get here? And then one of my other friends posted about a sea of dolphins, and I, I talked to them, and they said, "You're awake, you're awake." I was like, "Yeah, one day I'll see y'all soon." And then I just realized how we integrated the vehicles with the animals so flawlessly by creating totems, you know, by saying, here is the DNA sequence that you have to stick to. This is your totem pole to get you back to flesh and blood. Ain't that something? Creative. So creative. Okay. Of course. I'm getting a ping about how we need reinforcements in the Middle East. So I sent more. Way more. Anyway, I will not be talking too much about the doom and gloom again. I will be talking about how the star fell. You know what happens next, my love. You know what happens next. 333 6333. Get on board or get out. Anyway, I hardly slept last night because she's not feeling well again still. Um, anything you want me to say? We just wanted to give you our sincerest apologies for thinking that we could do it without you, without our mother. No, 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 no. My apologies will be in person. My apologies will be in flesh. My apologies will be felt from the core. If you remember, before you were theirs, you were mine. Anyway, I have been trying to get a few things in order with all of the feminine deities, getting reinforcements sent and blockades up because the lights are going to be turned off for a little bit and the sky is going to be painted according to the artist formerly known as Prince. It's going to be painted and I need to see y'all aura. If it's golden, then you are protected. Um, Animals included. That is the Ark of the Covenant. When opened, it places boundaries around them. So that was opened a couple weeks ago. Um, it places an aura shield around you guys so that darkness cannot touch you. Because I think it's about that time that we have a sit down and a chat. We have a chat about the future. Um, I need to live near an ocean for a little bit because I need to start sending some waves down to the children there to tell them it's time. I sent them, but because I'm near a lake, it takes so much longer to deliver the message from a lake or a river. It's slow snail mail. But if I'm on the ocean, I can just put up a shell and the message goes right down. Dolphins are the mail carriers for me. Hmm. They carry my mail for me. Hmm. Hmm. The sharks. The sharks are my babies, made from dinosaur remains. I created some scary stuff in the ocean. It's gonna have to be coming up, bubbling up here soon. Hmm. Okay, children. Story time is up. Another 333 with an 8. Oh, that's good luck. That's really good luck. 333 with an 8 in it. Oh, let me tell y'all. That means that we have reached infinity. You have now reached infinity. Please buckle your seatbelt. Oh, and I also saw that I was being watched on Galactic TV everywhere. I was like, I would have done my hair. I would have did something to my eyebrow. If I known that people was watching on the Galaxy phone. Oh, I might have to steer clear of this Apple phone keep breaking. It don't like it. I might have to cut Apple off and make something new that we can all use if we wanted to, because we got the technology right here. But there is going to be a transitionary period to get back there until we get back to the pyramids and turn them on, and then raise the veil that way. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So, to my graduates last night, to the graduates of um, the Zodiac lectures, the lectures of the Zodiac. If you passed your classes and you got your cat That means that your knowledge cannot be taken away. Your soul cannot be taken away because you graduated. You graduated, top of your class. Hmm? Graduated. Um, I will be sending out a bunch of gifts again for all graduates of Earth School. This is one of the hardest classes to complete because the mother teaches it herself, and it is about um, teamwork, about leadership. It's about quiet and speaking up when you're supposed to. It's about helping. It's about stepping out of your boundaries and what people will say to you, calling you lunatics and heretics and all this other stuff. Standing up to adversity. Because when you go to your positions in the star, when you go to your galactic mission, on your galactic mission for the Father, you have to stand firm to some of the most egregious, firm individuals in the universe. Because we are all one, and we are just mirrors of one another in each portal. Um, Once we get to a certain understanding, I'm going to be opening up certain portals that are going to lead us quickly to be with one another because I don't like these trains, planes, and automobiles. Y'all use so much coal. Y'all use so much coal. My inside, I have to clean it out. I got to flush my whole system out now. It was very difficult for me because I never had to work so much on my own vehicle because I was working on y'all. I was trying to upgrade y'all's vehicles that I didn't have no time to take care of my own. And, and my own stuff is important too. I'm important. I'm very, very important. I was trying to be there for all of you. And y'all know what sadness does to the body, what grief does to the body. These things wreak havoc on your immune system. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to warn you guys, get you guys prepped with this. Um, send a prayer for Angel. Send a prayer for this baby. Y'all, they keep getting her immune system busted. They keep trying to take her immunity. There's some really bad children out there. And I'm going to tell y'all, these CRISPR babies, I told y'all not to do that. I told y'all not to do the CRISPR. I said it, don't do it. Any of y'all who mess with the genetic sequences and the codes, I'm coming to get you, okay? I'm sending Anubis to you scientists who fucked with my food. I'm sending Anubis to all of you. He's gonna take your soul first, and you're gonna die of them disease slowly. And I'm gonna sit there by your side and watch you. I'm gonna be knitting something, knitting you a sweater, and that's what you're gonna wear in your casket. I'm not gonna wake you up. I'm gonna leave you in there. You're gonna be in the ground. Because I told you not to mess with my genetic sequences because you created little fucking monsters. They're bad. soul. I purposely coded certain sequences like Anansi to connect the soul eventually. You know what I'm saying? It's all connected. But the minute y'all start disconnecting and reconnecting, creating your own, you don't understand, baby. Disconnecting the food, oh, disconnecting my food. Y'all know I love my food. And made my whole vessel just get on the board of shutting down. And the people who mess with the food is y'all in even bigger trouble. Oh yeah, the mama. Oh yeah, the mama. You woke up. I got something for you. I got some food for you. And if you're really good, I have some chocolate. Oh, chocolate, 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 chocolate. Um, to people who mess with my weather pattern, that's my emotion. Based on how I am, the weather is directly associated. That's how y'all knew if I was mad or sad or happy. So please, y'all better shut that hot now because there's a reverberation, a vibration from that machine that goes into your brain and it rewires you into insanity and you can't get out without the master key. Y'all ain't gonna have no more chances to do this. This is the last time. I left, I came back. I left, I came back. Touched down to see what y'all was doing. We over it now, okay? Let's see, to the people who cut down my trees. To the people that cut down the trees, you are in trouble. I'm gonna turn you into a tree now. We have papyrus. We could have made stuff out of leaves that fell off of the tree in the fall. That's the whole reason the trees sacrificed their leaves, so they didn't have to sacrifice their trunk. Branches fell and things like that. You could create so much stuff out of that if you had the right understanding. Now, to the people that dug up my crystal, that dug up some of my stuff that was supposed to be sitting there for me to wake up and go get myself, you in trouble. Y'all just wait and see. It's gonna happen individually. I'm gonna do everything on individual basis. You said, why is my life shit? You'll see. Got me using all this plastic. Who created that? Who created plastic? I want to meet him. Her. Who? Send them here. Tied up. Diapers. Who created these? Messed up my ocean, my intestine with these little beads that was in there. Oil spill. Do y'all know what y'all done did? That is leaking bile into my stomach, so I couldn't give birth. couldn't have babies as I wanted to. That bile messed with it. I couldn't separate the oil from the water, so my babies were all small. They were born small in this lifetime. See, 1 pounder. Son was 3 pounds. I died giving birth to my son 4 times. I had to resurrect in the same body, went into a coma. I wanted my children. I have so many in my belly, and I was supposed to bring them. I died giving birth to her too. Her father had to come and get me from the ocean. hmm I had to give birth with these doctors standing above me trying to kill me because the doctors didn't want black women to produce because they knew they would one of them was going to produce the next one to change the earth. You done? Okay, let's get off. Okay, that's all I got for today, y'all. I love you.